Hi, I'm Nick Rummel with Caterpillar Preventive Maintenance. Today I wanted to talk to you about the daily walk-around safety inspections. Now, these are available on safety.cat.com, and your operator should be performing these before he starts up the machine for work every day. Now, this goes in order. It actually has us walk around the machine from the ground. Then it's got a section on engine compartment, on the machine and outside of the cab, and then finally inside the cab. And it's a whole list of things that we should be checking. Now, we're not going to exactly go in the same order. It doesn't matter what order you go in as long as you check all these pieces. Now, what we're going to look for, especially in the bucket and the ground engaging tools, is the condition of our cutting edge and the hardware that attaches the cutting edge. We also want to make sure that our corner guards are in place and our edge corner bits are also in place and in good shape. Now, this is a straight bucket, so we don't have any teeth on this bucket. But if we did have teeth, we'd be looking at our adapters, our pins, and the bucket teeth as well. Now, following the list and walking around to this side of the machine, we're going to make sure we inspect all the linkage very, very well. We want to make sure that there's no pins that are seized. We want to make sure that all of our grease zerks and grease lines are in place. And we want to make sure that this machine is ready for operation. As you can see down here, we found a seized pin. Now, it broke the flag off that pin, which means that that pin is actually seized in the boom. Not a good thing. We don't want to run this machine today. It's going to cause too much damage. That's an indication on this sheet when you should put that machine down and come up with another machine or schedule something else for this operator to do. As we continue to walk around the machine, we're going to look at the tires. We're looking for cuts, gouges, foreign material, rebar maybe inside the tire, anything that could cause it damage. We also want to make sure that they're fully inflated. We look at our final drive and the wheel bolts. We want to make sure all of our bolts that hold our wheel and tire on are tight. We also want to make sure that our final drive isn't leaking. As we continue to walk, we're going to get into the hitch area. Now, we have this machine turned a little bit just so we can see a little better inside the hitch area. We want to make sure that none of these hoses are rubbing, none of the wiring harnesses. We also want to take a look at our steering cylinder and our hitch pins. We want to grease those as necessary, as indicated by your operation and maintenance manual. This is also where we'd check the transmission oil. So we would do that right now too. Now, we do have a little leak on this transmission. It's not bad enough to shut the machine down today, but we'll definitely make a note of it and fix it the next time we down this machine for maintenance. We want to take a look at our fuel tank, make sure that the fuel tank isn't dented, leaking. Want to make sure that our cap is in place and snug and tight. We also want to look at our safety equipment, the handrails, hand guards, and our steps. We want to make sure that our steps are in good shape. As you can see, this one right here, some of this is rubber is broken. Now, again, it's not a hazard necessarily for today, but it does mean that it's prone to failure. This should be replaced very soon. Again, with the back tire, same thing. Cuts, gouges, foreign material, foreign objects in the tire, wheel bolts at the same time. Also the final drive. We're going to continue back to the engine compartment. What we're looking for back here are any types of leaks and anything abnormal. It could be leaking engine oil. We also have coolers on here. It could be leaking hydraulic oil, transmission oil. It depends on the application. But not only oil leaks, we also want to look for coolant leaks and intake and exhaust leaks. You know, an exhaust leak can create some low power issues, and the last thing you want is this machine not performing the way you think it should. So again, we want to do a good once over of the engine, make sure everything looks like it's in place. One thing I also noticed from the ground level is the hydraulic tank up there. The hydraulic tank is actually low. You can see the two black lines, and then you can also see that the hydraulic oil is lower than the bottom black line. We should really add some oil to make sure that this machine, when we get it completely lifted, the bucket completely lifted in the air, that it has enough oil to do its work. Now we're going to hop up in the cab. Normally we would go around to the other side of the machine, but it's convenient right now. Well, as we found on our inspection, this bottom step is bad, so I'm going to skip that step on the way up. I'm also going to set my clipboard down. up on top. I don't want to climb up with anything in my hands. I want to make sure that I always maintain 3 points of contact. Once I'm up on the top, I can pick my clipboard back up and go into the cab. And what we're looking for here is all the gauges need to be functioning normally. All our lights need to be working, both exterior and interior. We also want to take a look at all of our controls and make sure our controls all function normally. Something else that a lot of people forget about is our seat belt. This white tag has a date on it. Caterpillar recommends that you replace your seat belt every 3 years or 5 years from date of manufacture. So it's always a good idea to keep that in mind. Safety should be number one on all of our list. And lastly, something that a lot of people forget is the cab filter. This cab filter is located right here, easy to get to, easy to clean. It's also referenced in our operation and maintenance manual. For more information, you can either look at your operation and maintenance manual or contact your local CAT dealer.